and welcome back to my channel, where I'm going to cover the additional customization options for the fighter class that were introduced with Xanathar's Guide to Everything. I have stated this before, but D&D is a role-playing game, and the overall idea is that while you're playing your character, you're taking on their persona and acting as they otherwise would. The customizations we'll be covering in this video allow you to enhance your playing experience for the fighter class by giving you additional avenues of customization for your character, and provide more detail about them. D&D does this in a very prompt-friendly way by providing you examples that you can make use of directly or use them to creatively come up with your own ideas. The fighter customizations include things like the Heraldic signs, instructors, and signature style. With the introduction of Xanathar's Guide to Everything, there are some new tables that provide these examples and potential points of inspiration that you can use to add these details to your character. And to help make things simple, Fantasy Grounds provides a couple of ways in which you can access these new tables. The first, and by far the easiest, is to simply make use of the class sheet provided by Xanathar's Guide to Everything. As we can see here, I've already got it open. And then simply click on the various table links that are provided as part of the actual class sheet. The other option is to go and look for the Tables button, but by default, we don't necessarily have that there. I'm going to quickly go to my Settings button here, go to my Sidebar button, and then enable the Tables button. Now I can gain access to all of the individual tables that become available for the various classes. There are other tables that are in here as well, so you're going to want to be careful. For example, some of the racial ones are here. The only issue with this particular method is that you need to know the name of the tables that you're looking for, and if you're unsure what those names are, it's just easier to go to the class sheet provided by Xanathar's Guide to Everything and simply gain access to them. But those are the two ways that you can go and access these tables. So let's move on to actually going over what each of these tables represent. The first table is around the heraldic signs, and it gives you the means to come up with your own symbol or use one of the examples provided in the table. The heraldic signs can be anything from a family crest to something that is more meaningful to your character, and D&D gives you a lot of leeway here to come up with something that you like. If you're a little on the artistic side, I highly recommend you try to come up with your own family crest or heraldic sign, but as you can see via the table listing here, there are several examples that you can choose from. And there are two ways that you can go about doing this. The first is, if you're on the artistic side and have the ability to draw graphics and images, then I highly recommend you go through and create an actual image that you can then provide to the Dungeon Master, who can share it out to the other players if they need to see what it is. The other option is to simply go to your character's notes section and provide as much detail in the description of the heraldic sign, if you will, in that appearance section. That way, if someone asks you, what does your heraldic sign look like or your family crest look like, you can clearly describe it there. And as you can see here, the table only provides a text-based description that you could make use of and roll on, or simply choose, and drag and drop it into place. So having set up a graphical image, or if you want to do a graphical image, gives you a little bit more of an edge when it comes to trying to describe what it looks like. Now, the next customization option is around how your character learned their skills, in this case by defining who your character learned them from. The instructors in the example are of those that your character would typically run into over the course of their earlier lives, but these examples are not the limit of what options exist, as you can really come up with your own design for your own instructor if you're inclined to do so. The more detail here, the better, as I can see many a DM making use of the instructor for various side quests of one kind or another. A few examples that I can think of right off the top of my head would be, 1, your instructor was killed, and you're now being given a revenge or mystery-related quest that you're going to go through to try to figure out what happened. Another example is the instructor has turned traitor to everything that they believed in, and there's now a chance for your character to track them down and potentially get them to redeem themselves or turn themselves in, things like that. But the best location for this information would be within your notes section on your character sheet. So again, you just simply have to roll it or choose one or come up with your own design and then simply drag and drop it. You can do it from either location. And the last table is useful to designing your character's combat style. And what I mean by that is a signature that someone who sees your character fight will immediately know who you are, provided word has gotten around. This could be as simple as a bit of flair thrown in with your sword swings after defeating the last combatant on the field, or to as complex as to how graceful your character is in combat in general. And there are a few examples already provided within the table. But these examples are those that you can choose from or design your own. But keep in mind, this is like an extension of your character's personality, so it would make sense to create a signature that you feel falls in line with that. And once again, this is another segment that can easily be added to the notes section of your character's notes tab. So once again, either simply rolling it or dragging and dropping it into place. Although you'll want to make sure that you don't dump it into the middle of an existing sentence, kind of like I just did. There, I've gone ahead and cleaned that up so that it's clear that this is the instructor, this is the signature style. Now, I love that Xanathar is definitely adding a little bit more in the way of customizations that you can make use of to give your character a little bit more of a personal storyline that a DM could potentially make use of if they want to add in some minor personal quests or encounters to help you feel like your character is connected and part of the game. Not all DMs will do this, though. Some will just stick with the basic campaign that they have running, but there are a good number that will make use of the character's details to try to craft a more personal element into it for you and give your character a little bit more life in the overall campaign world. But that does bring us to the end of this particular video, and I want to thank you for watching. And I do look forward to seeing you in the next video.
I wish to thank you for taking the time to watch this particular video. I hope you found it informative and useful to familiarizing yourself with Fantasy Grounds in general, and that you had fun in the process. If you found the video useful and you liked the content of the particular video, go ahead and click that like button to let me know. And if you have any questions specific to the topic covered by this particular video, or just have some comments in general, please feel free to post something in the comment section, and I will do my best to respond to any questions that are asked. Additionally, I do release content quite regularly, and it's generally specific to Fantasy Grounds or 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons at this time. So if you'd like to be notified when new videos come out, go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell to ensure that notification is sent to you when I release a new video.